Well, students, in this lecture, I will explain some general concepts of point estimation. A point estimate of some population parameter theta is a single numerical value theta cap of a statistics, capital theta cap. This statistics is called point estimator. I repeat once again, this statistics is called point estimator. Let us now discuss some reasonable point estimates of the parameters. In the first row, the parameters are given, and in the second row, their corresponding point estimates are also given. So for parameter population mean, the point estimate is sample mean. For the parameter population variance, the point estimate is sample variance. For the parameter population proportion, the point estimate is sample proportion and is equal to x upon n. Similarly, for the parameters differences of population mean, the point estimates is the differences of sample means. Now let us define bias of an estimator. I repeat once again, bias of an estimator. The point estimator is an unbiased estimator for the parameter theta if E of estimator is equal to the parameter value. I repeat once again, the point estimator capital theta cap is an unbiased estimator for the parameter theta if E of point estimator is equal to the parameter. If the estimator is not unbiased, then the difference E of estimator minus parameter is called the bias of the estimator capital theta cap. Now how we can calculate standard error mean? The rule for standard error mean is standard deviation divided by root of n. So we'll use these concepts to answer the questions given in the next exercise. Well, students, I hope that you understand the general concepts of point estimation. So let us answer question number 716 given on exercise 7.3. And the question is, a computer software package was used to calculate some numerical summaries of a sample of data. The results are displayed here. Variable x, n value is given as 20, the mean 50.184, standard error mean we have to find, standard deviation is given as 1.815, and sample variance we have to calculate. And the part A is fill in the missing quantities. So what are the missing quantities? Standard error mean and sample variance. In part B, we have to find out the estimate of the mean of the population from which the sample was drawn. So mean sample is given, so we have to find the estimate of the mean of the population. So let us answer first part A. Part A is SC mean, means standard error mean, and you know that the rule for that is standard deviation divided by root of n. The value of standard deviation is 1.815 and the value of n is given as 20. So 1.815 divided by root of 20 is equal to 0.406. So 0.406 is the value of standard error mean. Now let us calculate sample variance. You know that we have a sample standard deviation already, and when we have to find the variance, and the definition of variance is just square of standard deviation. So 1.816 power 2 is equal to 3.298. So 3.298 is our sample variance. So what is the sample mean given here? 50.184. So the estimate of population mean is nothing but the sample mean. And what is the sample mean? 50.184. Well, students, let us answer some questions given on exercise 7.3. Question number 718. Let x1 and x2 be independent random variables with mean mu and variance sigma. Suppose that we have two estimators of mu, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, estimator 1 equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and estimator 2 x1 plus 3x2 divided by 4. So now what we have to check? We have to check are both estimators unbiased estimators of mu, and in part B we have to calculate the variance of each estimators. So you know that when we have to check whether the given estimator is unbiased or not, what we have to do? We have to show that E of the estimator equal to parameter. So let us start. So students, since we have to check whether estimator 1 and estimator 2 are unbiased or not, so let us start. Let us find E of estimator 1. So you know that estimator 1 equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and when we take E of estimator 1, we'll get E of x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and when we write separately, we'll get E of x1 over 2 plus E of x2 over 2. So 2 is constants. Let us write half outside, and from here half outside, and you know that estimator of E of x1 is mu, and similarly E of x2 is mu. So when we replace in place of Ex1 mu here and E of x2 again mu here, we'll get 1 by 2 mu here and 1 by 2 mu here. So half mu and half mu is equal to mu, and you know that E of estimator is equal to parameter, and when E of estimator is equal to parameter, we can say that the given estimator is unbiased. So let us answer in the same way for estimator 2. E of estimator 2, and you know that estimator 2 is equal to x1 plus 3x2 over 4. So let us write separately E x1 over 4 plus E x 3x2 over 4. So 1 by 4 outside, 3 over 4 outside. So E of x1, E of x2 equal to mu. So when we replace in place of E of x1 mu, E of x2 mu, we will get 1 by 4 mu and 3 over 4 mu. And you know that because estimate of x1 is equal to that parameter mu. So similarly E of x1 equal to mu here, E of x2 mu here. So 1 by 4 mu plus 3 over 4 mu will get 4 over 4. 4 over 4 got cancelled, and we are left with mu only. So E of estimator 2 is equal to mu, which is a parameter. So when we know that when E of estimator is equal to parameter, we can say that the given estimator is unbiased. So both the estimators are unbiased estimators. Now let us answer part B, where we have to find the variances for both the estimator. So in column 1, variance of estimator 1 is given, and in column 2 the variance of estimator 2 is given. So let us start. So variance of estimator 1 is equal to variance of x1 plus x2 over 2, because you know that estimator 1 is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2, and you know that here students kindly be careful. Let us write separately variance of x1 over 2 plus variance of x2 over 2, and be careful here. Whenever we have to find the variance, we have to see what is the coefficient of x1 here, 1 over 2. So we will square that one and write outside. So 1 over 2 whole square, how much? 1 over 4. So let us write 1 over 4 outside. We left with the variance of x1 plus 1 over 4 variance of x2, and you know that we can replace v of x1 with sigma square. Similarly v of x2 with sigma square. 1 over 4 sigma square plus 1 over 4 sigma square is equal to 2 over 4 sigma square, and when we divide 2 by 4, we will get 1 over 2 sigma square. So variance of estimator 1 is equal to 1 by 2 sigma square. Now let us calculate variance for estimator 2. So variance of estimator 2 is equal to variance of x1 plus 3x2 divided by 4. So let us write both the terms separately. Variance of x1 over 4 plus variance of 3x2 over 4, and as I explained in while calculating variance of estimator 1, that you should be very careful. What is the coefficient of x1 1 over 4, and square of 1 over 4 is 1 over 16. So I wrote 1 over 16 outside, and we left with variance of x1 plus what is the coefficient of x2, 3 over 4, and square it. What is square of 3 over 4? 9 over 16. This is the way you have to follow when you have to calculate the variance. So don't forget, you have to square the coefficient of x1, x2, and if x3, x4, whatever is given, just square the coefficients and then proceed. So variance of x1 is equal to v of x1 is equal to sigma square v of x2 sigma square. Here we have 1 over 16, here we have 9 over 16. When we combine, we'll get 10 over 16, and after simple mathematical simplification, we'll get 5 over 8 sigma square. So we have variance of estimator 1 over 2 sigma square and variance of estimator 2 5 over 8 sigma square. So let us answer now part B. So in part B, we have to find the variances of both the parameters, that is first parameter and second parameter. So let us first find out the variance of first parameter. You know that, students, parameter 1 is equal to x1 plus x2 divided by 2. So we have to find variance. So variance of first parameter is equal to variance of x1 plus x2 upon 2. Let us write down separately variance of x1 over 2 plus variance of x2 upon 2. Be careful, students, over here, that whenever we have to find the variance of estimators, what we have to do, we have to see what is the coefficient of, for example, here we have x1 upon 2. So what is the coefficient of x1 here? 1 upon 2. So we have to square 1 over 2 and write it outside. So what is the square of 1 upon 2? 1 upon 4. So let us write 1 upon 4 outside, then v of x1 plus what is the coefficient of x2 here? 1 upon 2. So let us once again, let us square 1 upon 2. So when we square 1 upon 2, the square of 1 upon 2 is 1 upon 4. So write down 1 upon 4 outside, and what we left? We left with variance of x2. And you know that the variance of x1 is equal to sigma square, and variance of x2 is again equal to sigma square. So 1 upon 4 sigma square plus 1 upon 4 sigma square is equal to 2 upon 4 sigma square, and when you divide 2 by 4, we'll get 1 upon 2 sigma square. So variance of estimator is equal to 1 upon 2 sigma square. So similarly, let us calculate the variance of second estimator, and you know that second estimator is equal to x1 plus 3x2 divided by 4. So since we have to find the variance, so let us take v both sides. So variance of estimator 2 is equal to variance of x1 plus 3x2 divided by 4. So let us separate it and write in the form of separate terms. So variance of x1 over 4 plus variance of 3x2 over 4. Now be careful here. What is the coefficient of x1 here? 1 upon 4. And what we did here, we just square the coefficient. So what is the square of 1 upon 4? 1 upon 16. So 1 upon 16 outside, we left with v of x1 plus what is the coefficient of x2? 3 upon 4. And what is the square of 3 upon 4? You know that 3 power 2 9 and 4 power 2 16. So that's why we have here 9 upon 16 outside, and we left with v of x2. And what is bx1? Bx1 equal to sigma square, and similarly vx2 equal to sigma square. Variance of x1 equal to sigma square, variance of x2 sigma square, and when we collect both, we will get 10 over 16 sigma square. I repeat once again, we have 1 over 16 sigma square plus 9 over 16 sigma square. Sigma square is common, and 1 plus 9, how much? 10. 10 over 16 sigma square. And after further simplification, we will get variance of second estimator is equal to 5 upon 8 sigma square. Well, students, let us answer one more question. That is question number 721. Let x1, x2 until x7 denote a random sample from a population having mean mu and variance sigma square. Consider the following estimators of mu. So the estimators of mu are given. Estimator 1 is equal to x1 plus x2 until x7 divided by 7, and estimator 2 is equal to 2x1 minus x6 plus x4 divided by 2. So please try to understand this. Estimator 1 is equal to x1 plus x2 plus dot dot, means plus x3 plus x4 plus x5 plus x6 until x7. Okay, and what we have to do here, we have to find first, is either estimator unbiased. We have to check whether estimator 1 and estimator 2 are unbiased or not. And after that, in part B, we have to check which estimator is best and in what sense it is best. And after that, we have to calculate the relative efficiency of the two estimator. Students, now the question is how we can select that out of these two which one is best. So for that, we have to see the value of variance. So students, we have to check whether the given estimators are unbiased or not. So let us start with estimator number 1. So E of estimator 1 is equal to E of x1 plus x2 plus dot 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 plus x7 divided by 7. We know that estimator 1 is equal to x1 plus x2 plus dot 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 plus x7 divided by 7. So let us write each term separately. E x1 over 7 plus E x2 over 7 plus E x3 over 7 plus E x4 over 7 plus E x5 over 7 plus E x6 over 7 plus E x7 over 7. That is the meaning of dot dot dot. So since 1 upon 7 is constant, so we can write 1 upon 7 outside. So we left with E x1 plus 1 upon 7 E x2, and proceeding in the same way we have 1 over 7 E x7. So you know that this is E of x1, and with the definition of estimation of parameter, E of x1 is equal to mu. Similarly, E of x2 equal to mu. Similarly, E of x1 equal to mu. So kindly don't be confused with x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, x7. Okay, so whenever you have E of x1, you can write it as mu, and E of x2 equal to mu, and until E of x7 equal mu. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 7. So 7 over 7 mu equal to mu, because 7 7 got cancelled. So E of estimator is equal to the parameter mu. So it means that estimator 1 is unbiased. So let us check the second estimator, which is equal to 2x1 minus x6 plus x4 divided by 2. So E of estimator 2 is equal to E of 2x1 minus x6 plus x4 divided by 2. So let us write the terms separately. So E 2x1 over 2 minus E x6 over 2 plus E x4 over 2. So 2 over 2 1. So we left with only Ex1, because 2 got cancelled, and then minus 1 over 2 outside E of x6 plus 1 over 2 outside E of x4, and you know that E of x1 equal to mu, E of x6 equal mu, E of x4 equal mu. So minus half mu plus half mu got cancelled, we left with mu. So E of estimator is equal to parameter. So therefore second estimator is also unbiased. So both the estimators are unbiased. Well students, let us answer now part B. If you remember, when I was explaining the question, I made it clear over there that to decide that which of the given estimator is best, we have to find the variances of each one of the given estimators. So let us start with the variance of first estimator. So variance of first estimator, V of estimator 1 is equal to V x1 plus x2 plus x dash plus x7 divided by 7. Now let us write each term separately. V of x1 over 7 plus V of x2 over 7 plus dot 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 plus V of x7 over 7. So what is the coefficient of x1 here? 1 over 7, and when we square 1 over 7 we will get 1 over 49. So write 1 over 49 outside V of x1. Similarly 1 over 7 power 2 whole power 2 is 1 over 49 Vx2 plus dot dot plus 1 over 49 Vx7. I'm going to repeat once again. What is the coefficient of x1 here? 1 over 7. So what is the square of 1 over 7? 1 over 49. So I wrote here 1 over 49 and then V of x1. Similarly 1 over 7 whole power 2 1 over 49. So I wrote again here 1 over 49 then V of x2. Similarly for x3 over 7, the coefficient of x3 1 over 7. So 1 over 7 whole power 2 1 over 49, and we will go until x7 over 7, and when we square 1 over 7 we will get 1 over 49, and we will write here, we will write 1 over 49 outside and then V of x7. So we know that V of x1 sigma square, V of x2 sigma square. So let us replace V of x1, x2, x3 until x7 by sigma square. So 1 over 49 sigma square plus 1 over 49 sigma square plus 1 over 49 sigma square until the seventh value, that is 1 over 49 sigma square, and when we collect we'll get 7 over 49 sigma square, and after simplification we'll get 1 over 7 sigma square. So we have variance of first estimator 1 over 7 sigma square. Let us calculate now variance of estimator 2. So variance of estimator 2 is equal to V of 2x1 minus x6 plus x4 divided by 2. Let us write each term separately. V of 2x1 over 2 minus V of x6 over 2 plus V of x4 over 2. So 2 over 2 cancel 1. So what is the coefficient of x1? 1. And when we square 1, we'll get 1. So that's why we have 1 V of x1 plus, here students be careful because most of the students are getting confused over here, that in the first step we have minus but the next step plus. So how it come? So basically if you remember, I explained that whenever you have to find the variance, you have to write the square of the coefficient of the x1 or x2 or x5 or x3, whatever it will be. So what is the coefficient of x6 here? You see 1 over 2, and also we have minus. So when we square minus of 1 over 2, what we will get? We will get plus 1 by 4. That's why we have plus 1 by 4 over here. So plus 1 by 4 b of x6 plus, here we have 1 over 2. So square of 1 over 2 plus 1 over 4. So we let us replace v of x1 with sigma square, v of x6 with sigma square, and v of x4 with sigma square. So when we collect all, we'll get 6 over 4 sigma square, and after some simplification the variance of a second estimator is 3 over 2 sigma square. So now we have the variances of estimator, first estimator and as well as second estimator. Now we have to decide which one is the best. So for that we have to look for the smaller value. So when you check with the help of calculator, you will find that the variance of estimator 1 is smaller than that of estimator 2. So that's why, since variance of estimator 1 is less than variance of estimator 2, therefore estimator 1 is the best estimator. I repeat once again, how you can choose, how you can select the best estimator. You have to look for variance value. So for example, here we have two estimator. The variance of estimator 1 is smaller than that of variance 2. That's why variance 1 is the best estimator. So whenever we have to choose the best estimator, we have to look for the smaller variance. Now let us calculate relative efficiency. The rule for relative efficiency: variance of estimator 2 divided by variance of estimator 1, means bigger variance divided by smaller. So 3 by 2 sigma square divided by 1 over 7 sigma square. So sigma square got cancelled. 7 go up. 3 into 7 21. 21 divided by 2. So this is the relative efficiency. So it ends our question. So this is the book we are following. Thank you very much, students.